Okay, we're going to start by going into downward dog, but we'll be a little bit closer to the wall. Before we get started, if you want to learn the basics of Iyengar Yoga, I've designed a new course, Foundational Iyengar Yoga. This course is for you if you're a beginner, if you've been practicing for a while and you just want to deepen your understanding, or if you're a teacher and you would like to be more inspired, go back to the basics. So it's a 6-week course, 18 different classes, and you'll be able to go through at your own pace. You can find more details in the description box below. All right, so taking a shorter stride, you bring your feet back to the wall, extend your arms and lengthen up. Here, you're going to bend both knees. Take your left leg up, so have the knee on the wall, and then be on the toes. Slide the knee up. Be on the toes. Press with the hands. Adjust and balance the hips. And then turn the toes the opposite direction and slide the foot up the wall. Get past your toenails. Lift up. And then come down. So again, bend the knees, bring one knee onto the wall, extend through your arms, lift the knee up. So I just lifted it up. I don't want to move the knee out or the thigh out. I want to keep both hip bones facing toward the floor. You can take your hands in a little bit so that you can feel that you're pressing and lengthening up a little bit more, if that's appropriate for you, and then slide the foot up. Keep both hips compact, so outer hips are moving towards one another. Slide the foot up the wall, and as you do that, press the hands and lift up through the arms. Stay with your breath. And then coming down. Downward dog. Press the heels to the wall, move the thighs back. As you press the hands, lift up through the arms, moving the chest back. And then walk forward, come into Uttanasana. You can have the feet hips width apart, bring your hands out to the side. Bend the knees, lengthen forward on the thighs. Keep that length, keep the back body moving toward the thighs. And then let's just take your hands on your ankles, on your calves, and start to straighten the legs. As you straighten the legs, from the back of the knee to the sitting bone, begin to contract the quadriceps, the front thighs, and lengthen the hamstrings. Move the weight toward the front of the foot and release the head down. As you hold with the calves, let yourself come closer. And then bring your hands onto your hips. Inhale, come up. Okay, next we'll practice Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. So I'm going to have you come to the wall, turn around, and you'll come forward like you just did in Uttanasana. Bring your back closer to the wall. Slide your head down. So you're kind of hooking your back, hooking your shoulders. Bring your hands back. Before we had our hands on our ankles or our calves, here for balance, because we're bringing one leg up, I'm going to have you have both fingertips onto the floor, just to begin with. Now slide your head down. You can bend the knee, lengthen a little bit more along that thigh, and then straighten that leg and lift the other leg up. Come up about halfway, a little bit more. And now take your hand on your calf, on your ankle. Pull, move your back away from the wall, your head towards your leg, and lift the leg up. Release down any amount. So you can use the wall to slide your back down. So you have some information about the back body and what's happening. Okay, we'll do the other side. You're going to bend your knees, lengthen, slide your head down, slide your upper back down. Take your fingers back so you'll start to balance, and then take one foot back. Slide your back down a little bit more as you can. And then again. So connecting from the sitting bone to the back of the knee, lifting the kneecap up, contract the quadricep, and lengthen the backs of the legs, the hamstrings, and then bring that leg up. So the toes are facing up toward the ceiling, the hip bones facing the wall. You can take your hand on the calf now and draw yourself down. And then release. Coming up. Turn around. Okay, now we're going to do that without the wall. So we use the wall to feel the back moving toward the thighs. So now we'll come into that bent knee position again. See if we can recreate what we did at the wall. So having your hands, the fingertips on the floor, bend the knees, slide the abdomen forward, and then take one foot back. And then start to raise that leg up. You can take the foot onto the wall and slide the foot up. Reach up with that foot, toes facing down toward the floor. Stand tall on this leg, so the outer hip is moving in. And now take the hand on the calf. Lengthen forward a little bit more, release the head down, release the upper ribs back, and then take the foot away from the wall and press up. And coming down. Stay in Ardha Uttanasana. Reposition through your feet and balance through the front of the foot and the heel. Lengthen out through the side trunk. And then bend the knees. Take the hands back. So again, you're still lengthening along the thighs. Releasing the head down. Take the foot back. You're going to catch the wall. And then start to slide the foot up. Catch hold of the calf, the ankle. Position that hand on the floor so you'll be balanced once you take your foot away from the wall. And then lift the leg up. Lift up any amount. So you're not turning the hip out, but you're rolling the hip inward. Coming down any amount. Press up through the top foot. Release the head. And then coming down. Come back into Ardha Uttanasana. And then bring your arms up, Urdhva. And stand in Tadasana. So in all of these, the hips are compact. The outer hips moving towards one another. Inner thighs rolling back. Balancing on the foot. So we're in a balancing pose. So important to be as if you're on 2 feet. So you're on the inner edge and you're on the outer edge of the foot. Collect yourself. Come back to your breath. Okay, now we'll be practicing Ardha, Baddha, Padmottanasana. So this is half lotus in one leg, and we're bending forward. Okay, so we're going to use the wall again. And you'll be close to the wall, close enough that when you come down, like when we just did the last one, you can bring your head down. You can always walk closer to the wall. Come into that deeper Uttanasana. Okay, but we'll start standing up, and you are going to bring the right leg in Lotus, half Padmasana, Ardha Padmasana. So taking the foot on the top of the thigh. So I'll just show you this way. So you can come to the wall, lean onto the wall, bring the leg up, and then bring the foot onto the thigh. So this is what you're going to do facing the wall. So the leg is lengthening, it's also drawing back, and the buttock is moving forward. Okay, so we'll do it facing the wall, and then we'll go forward. So bring the leg up, take hold of the foot, bring it on the top of the thigh, and now you can go to the side a little bit, come down, bend the knee, lengthen, let your ribs move down, walk your hands back a little bit. We'll do the first one with the hands on the floor, and then you'll straighten the leg. Be on the front of the foot. You have the head there at the wall for balance if you need to. Be a little bit more balanced. So using the wall to support yourself, outer hips moving towards one another. And this knee is moving down toward the floor. So it's not lifting up, it's moving down to keep that balance through both sides of the hip. If you come down too much, then that's too much. So just adjust yourself. And now you're going to come up. Turn your head to the side and come up. Take the leg down. Stand back in Tadasana. Preparing to do the other side. Bring the leg up. Get that external rotation like in tree pose, Vrikshasana. And then bring the foot onto the top of the thigh. Turn the foot. And then bend the knee and come down. So because we're close to the wall, we have to come in sideways. Then adjust your hips, releasing that knee down toward the floor. Take the hands back. Compact the hips. Take hold of the calf. Releasing the head down. So you can use the head at the wall to balance yourself. Take your hands, see it is your hip level. And then when you feel that you're in the right position, coming down. And then coming up, and take your head out to the side, walk yourself up, and come up. And then stand in Tadasana. Okay, we're going to do with the hips at the wall. Come back into the first leg, right leg up, take the foot, balancing, the hips at the wall. You can bring your hands down. With the fingertips on the floor, stand tall on this leg. And now, like we did in Ardha Paschimottanasana, we took the hand on the foot. So you want to keep yourself level. You want to keep the back lengthening and not falling to one side. So adjust with your hips. You can feel your hips at the wall. Take your hands, walk your hand in, and then release down. And then come out. Walk your hands forward. Release your leg. Come into that shortened downward dog. Walk forward and come up. Okay, coming back to the wall. So we're using the wall to make sure we're balanced. We're stabilized, but also the hips not dropping. So again, bring the leg up, get the external rotation. Now, earlier in one of the last videos, I showed using the strap on the foot, if you need that strap. But what we're going to do is we're going to come down with the hips on the wall, bending the knee, getting that levelness to the hips, knee moving down, adjust the foot. And then you'll take your hand and catch the toes. So now my shoulder's lifted up. Can I bring that shoulder back down? Release the knee down. Release the head down. And then come back out. Release the hand. Walk forward. Take that leg out. Come back into downward dog. Go into full downward dog this time. Open the backs of the knees. Thighs moving back. Calves descending strongly down toward the heels. Lift the kneecaps up. And then walk forward. Come into Uttanasana. So feet are together, inner thighs rolling in towards each other. Take the fingertips on the floor, outer wide, so they're a little bit wider than the shoulders. Now bend the knees. Take hold of the calves, take hold of the ankles. And as you start to straighten the leg, use the arms and the hands to guide you down. Release your head down any amount. Stay on the inner side of the foot, feeling that balance. And then take the fingertips behind you. Release the head. Inhale, come up. Urdhva Hastasana, Tadasana. Just be in Tadasana. Come back to the breath. And then you'll come down. Release your hips. Here we're going to cross the legs first. Let that front groin open. Let the front thighs extend. Just be here in Supta, Sukhasana. Tailbone and the pelvis moving down, top of the buttocks moving down. Begin to feel that breath through the abdominal area, relaxing the abdomen down into the lower pelvis, middle and upper chest. Bring the legs up, change the cross on the feet. And as you bring the heels in towards you, roll onto the fronts of the foot. Release the knees down. So here you can feel even more length when you start to bring those feet in towards you. And then bring the feet together. Roll onto your side. Come back up one more time. We're going to go into Paschimottanasana, the final pose. You can have a block for the head. Take your feet a little bit wider. Take the buttocks flush back. Be right on your sitting bones. Catch hold of the feet. Lift up. Lengthen forward. Take the block a little bit higher. Just rest your forehead. Breathe into the lower back. Breathe into the abdomen. Inner thighs descending, inner knees descending. Let your forehead rest completely, back of the head, moving toward the front head. And then you're going to come up. And to finish off with, you just take your legs up the wall. So just come onto the hips, come sideways, and then bring the legs straight up. Move your hips to the wall, thighs to the wall. And just allow the legs to move down into the hip socket. Take your arms out to the side. With your exhalation, allow the abdomen to descend towards your lower back, softening all the little muscles along the lowest part of the back, near the sacrum, the tailbone, and moving up. Take your time here, be there. So the legs are quite heavy. Just allow those bones to sink down into the hips. If you have some weight, you can bring that weight onto your feet. So these are very heavy blocks, so I wouldn't want to drop that on myself, so I'm going to take them to the wall. Also, if you have a heavier weight, you can use that too. But here the block serves to keep your feet in Tadasana and helps you to get that direction downward to release the legs. Feel your left and your right hip on the floor. Left and the right back waist moving toward the floor, broadening across your lower back, your sacrum. And then start to feel that as you move up, the back ribs on the floor, the broadness through the back. Thinking of a leaf, and when you look at a leaf, you can see the stem going down right through the center. So your spinal column, like that leaf, and the ribs to each side, broadening, widening, and releasing downward. You can stay in this position as long as you'd like. I'll leave you here. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. I'm feeling really relaxed. Felt really good to bend that deeply. So of course, in our practice, we must practice what our body is ready to do. So today I've taken the wall and used that for the back, to guide the head, to guide the back, to keep our balance and keep our hips level. So those are all important things that you want to achieve before you go too deeply into the pose. So practice, use this class to help you go in the right direction and stay safe. All right, until next time, namaste.